This week's video is brought to you by Vessi Footwear. I'm an Arizona girl born and raised, and I grew up wearing flip-flops and sandals most of the days of my life. When we decided to move to Idaho to the cold and snow and wet country, I had to find something other than flip-flops that I could wear on a daily basis. I found the Vessi Everyday Sneaker, and it's by far my favorite shoe. It's 100% waterproof, slush-proof, sandproof, and even slip-proof. They're made from a special material called Dymatex, where they keep your feet cool in the summer and warm in the winter. The best part about them is if they get dirty, all you have to do is just rinse them off, and they don't even feel like a waterproof shoe. Vessi has an incredible early Black Friday offer going on right now, so use the link in our description to go and grab yourself a pair, and I promise you'll thank us later. If you missed the sale, you can go to www.vessi.com/redpoppyranch to get $25 off your first order there.
If you can remember back, I built this battery box for our very first set of batteries. They were lead acid batteries, and this battery box is now good for nothing but to be burned. I worked very hard to build a quality battery box that would be airtight. I then vented the box to the outside so when the lead acid batteries did off gas, the hydrogen would hopefully make its way outside. The battery box is now covered in the hydrogen that was released from those original lead acid batteries. If you're keeping track, we are now on our third set of batteries. The second set of Lion Energy lithium iron phosphate batteries that we just took out was still working. There was nothing wrong with them. But the new batteries that we installed last week are purpose-built batteries. Instead of having 16 batteries, we now have 3.
Does that work?
Yeah, once we get the string through, then we're going to tie the mule tape, and I'm going to pull the string back, and we're going to pull the mule tape through.
Okay.
That's step 1.
Yeah.
So now your job is to feed this while I pull it.
Okay.
So you're just going to kind of have to unravel it because we don't have it on its on a spool. There was really nothing that I could do with that battery box other than make it go away. And the safest way I knew to make it go away was simply to cut it up and put it in the burn barrel. Now we gotta lay out all the wire. Okay, you hold that right there.
This?
Yeah, you're gonna have to kind of pull it. Well, I guess not, I just have to roll it. I don't want any kinks in this wire. If you can remember back over summer, before pouring the concrete driveway here next to the shop, I took time to run 2 1.25 inch conduit lines from the house to the shop. I ran 2 lines just to be safe, but one of the things that I've got to get done if I want to have lights out here in the shop is I have to pull these 4 gauge wires from the house to the shop. We have 3 4 gauge wires and 1 6 gauge ground. These are all copper stranded wires. This will be more than sufficient for what the shop will need. Whoever does what doesn't really matter. If you're pulling, that means I'm pushing too. I can't just stand here and feed it. I have to feed it and push it. You go pull. Let's try that first. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna feed it in now. Okay, hang on, I gotta pull it. Okay, pull. Now again, if you remember, when I installed the conduit, there was a hard bend around the corner of the house, and I worried that the wire would fight me around that corner.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Like, past the tape.
I walked this off 3 times at 120 feet. So I went down and bought 150 feet of wire. This is what I got left. Maybe 10 feet. So that's too close for comfort. Now what I'm gonna do, drill the holes for the panel on this side, get this side wired up to the panel, then I can pull all the excess that way. The truth is I would rather have the excess on that side than on this side. So that's my next step. The end result is, with Rhett's help, it took us a matter of minutes to get it pulled, and everything went as good as it could have. The shop will have a 100 amp sub panel where I can control what's happening out here. And inside the panel in the house, I will have a breaker that controls the power going to the shop. Getting that wire pulled without any problems was a huge load off my mind. I'm now excited to get the new wire tied into our existing panel inside the house and into the panel outside so we can have power out there. We've sure grown to love little Ruby. She's about the most laid-back dog I think we've ever had. She likes to bite and chew a little bit, but she's already understanding what no means. I take her with me in my truck when I have places to go, and she typically falls asleep on my lap, and I'm anxiously looking forward to watching her grow up. After getting the 15 inches of snow that we got last week, it's been surprisingly warm for the last few days. I jumped in the Ranger to see if I could get up to the cabin.
Why is your voice not like that? Mom, can I try? Okay.
I have materials that I need to get up there, and I'm fairly certain I have a limited window to do this. And once I figured out that the Ranger would make it up there and get back down safely, I now need to get the tongue and groove in the insulation and get it hauled up there. One of the problems that I've had with the Ranger over the last couple of months is the Bendix in the starter will only engage about half the time. I ordered a new starter and a new Bendix, and Rhett and I got it installed. And by getting this done, I know that the Ranger's not going to leave me stranded. The six-wheeled Ranger has ended up giving me freedom to travel around the property, especially getting back to the back of the property without too many challenges. I like that thing so much, I may look for another one. It is a cool, brisk morning. 23, probably 24 outside right now. We got the service from the house to the shop pulled last night. Rhett helped me pull that 4-gauge wire. I got the panel installed yesterday. The goal for today is to get the lights and the outlets going, to get them installed. I may not get it finished today, but I'm going to go as far as I can. I want to get the lights on out there. These new high bay lights that I got. I was going to do a whole bunch of can lights, but after talking to a couple of different people, I decided that it wasn't going to produce enough bright light, and that's what I want in that shop is bright light. So I ended up going with 6 high bay lights, and they use a fair amount of wattage. They use about 150 watts a piece, but it should light that whole room up. And I'm looking forward to having light in the evening out there, so I can keep working, doing drywall, getting the shop organized. Cedar and I are still working on the organization aspects of the shop. But let me say this about our new solar system. We are on day 4 of our solar system, of the new solar system, and we've only hit 100% one time. Okay, I can watch it on my phone. I check it on my phone. I monitor everything on my phone. We only hit 100% one time this week, and because we have such short days right now with the sun, we're not getting enough. These batteries are taking quite a bit more time to charge, but the end result is because they're so much bigger, we're not losing anywhere near as much power overnight, so they don't have to hit 100%. So what I find myself doing is not thinking about it. I finally eliminated one of those things from my list that I was always worried about. Cedar and I were always talking about, can she do laundry? Can she run the washing machine? Now, because of these new batteries, these 3 batteries, they're so much bigger than what we had before. We're not thinking about these things, which is good. And so now that we've ran the service to the house, we're going to wire it into the existing panel in there, and then we'll have the option to run these lights out here. And so again, my goal for today is to get as much of that done as I possibly can. While I worked on the electrical, Cedar and the kids continued to go through all of the stuff that we had in our storage unit. And little by little, eliminate the things that aren't necessary, identify and label the things that are, and slowly condense all this stuff that we have. I went back and forth on which lights to use in the shop. It's so important to have a bright shop out here, I considered putting as many as 40 can lights in the ceiling, but I worried that by the time that light got to the ground, that it in fact would not be bright enough. After talking to a couple of different electricians, both of them recommended using a high bay light. The only downside to the high bay light versus the can light is the high bay lights use quite a bit more energy. But again, with our new solar system, this shouldn't be a huge factor. Gravity. I'm going to put a total of 6 lights in at first. If this is not sufficient, I'll add 3 more. I will wire the lights up in 3 separate switches so they don't all have to be on at the same time. Once I got the lights figured out, I began laying out where I want the switches to be, and then started working on the outlets. Once I get all the outlets in place, it will be a process of pulling the necessary wire to the outlets, and then I'm going to go ahead and power up the shop. It's important and necessary to have lights out in the shop so we can continue to work outside even when the sun goes down. Right now, the days are very short. The sun comes over the hill at about 11 o'clock, and by about 4 o'clock, the solar panels are no longer getting enough power to benefit. Someone told me early on that this land that we live on was actually surveyed for solar, and it was determined, in fact, that it would not work. Now, I don't know what that means, but the truth is the hill behind our house obstructs the sun, and therefore we don't get as much sun as we would like to. One of the things that we hope to do is add a wind generator to the mix, and maybe this will give us a little bit more on these short winter days. The shop is ready for wire. My goal is first thing Monday morning to get out here and wire the lights up, get all the outlets, all the wire pulled for the outlets, and see if I can't connect the shop and the house with the service that we put in. I still need to do some outside lighting. I really haven't decided what we're going to do yet with that, but I can plumb it. I can wire it, I think is the proper verbiage. But my goal is by like Tuesday or Wednesday to have power out there. So Cedar and I can keep working on stuff out there, so I can have some late night projects, especially once that garage door in, and especially once I get my stove built. If you look over my shoulder, you can see Cedar's valiant attempt at having Christmas lights. For the last year, she has made it known to me that she would love to have some sort of solar powered Christmas lights. But the problem is they're all pretty low quality. And she got what she thought was enough to go across the front porch. Not only was it not enough, but one of them wouldn't power up. One of them broke. They're just pretty low quality. But what she doesn't know is that I pre-wired the porch to have lights. I wasn't sure to have a whole bunch of lights, frankly. I wasn't sure with our original battery bank if we could do that. But I think I'm going to run down Monday morning, get the stuff needed to wire up and give her some Christmas lights. And I'm going to try and do it without her knowing, and see if I can't brighten up her day. I think she's kind of bummed. I got to talk quiet right now because she'll hear me. But I think she's kind of a little bit sad because she really tried to make this work, and she tried to do it without me knowing about it and surprised me. So I'm going to try and do my part to surprise her. Next video you see on Wednesday should be a shop lit up. And then I'm going to the cabin. I'm going to get all the materials up to, at least get the materials up there to the cabin so I can finish it. So I can get it insulated and get the tongue and groove up so I don't have to take any more materials up there. I managed to get the 6x6 up there today, but it was not, it was a lot of work on the Ranger. And I'm thinking I got a very, very small window to get materials up there. And then after that, we can snowshoe up there if we had to. We could ride a snow machine back there, and the plan is to have snow machines available to do that. But once the shop is lit up, then I can call for my inspection, and I'm guessing it's going to take a few days to get that inspection done. But I want to get a front door on that shop. I want to get the tongue and groove done. I want to get a loft built, and I want to get a stove in. Everything else after that I can do over winter. I need to be able to keep it warm in there while I'm working, and I really want to go stay the night up there. So anyway,